Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Mindful Introvert podcast. And today we have another very special guest. I have with me Athena, and she is a spiritual self love coach who helps women find and use their inner magic to create their dream life. And she helps them to navigate through their blocks and the confusion and unworthiness to find their bliss using energy techniques such as mindset work and human design. And she is currently accepting one on one clients and she offers oracle card readings, but a little bit more about that at the end of this episode. So definitely stick around because this is going to be a good one. So welcome Athena to our podcast and thank you so much for agreeing to be here with me, and just it's my pleasure to be here and interview you and have you here with everyone. Would you like to tell us a little bit more about you, about your journey, and how did you get into personal development and spiritual healing and all of that good stuff?
Yes, hello everyone. Thank you so much for having me. First of all, it's such a pleasure to be here and to connect with more amazing, women and all the people in your audience all over the world. So, thank you so much. I would love to tell my story. It starts let's start at the beginning here.
Yeah.
So, I grew up, my parents got divorced at a very young age, which never bothered me. But my mom was so different from my dad. My mom was a teacher and like stressed out. And so there was a lot of like interesting things growing up. But my mom eventually, well, she was always like into spirituality, but I was so against it. Like literally, like I didn't believe anything. I was like, oh, this is bull. I'm not here for it. Do whatever you want, mom. Like, I'm not interested. And then she started learning all these different modalities and she was learning Reiki. And she just came up to me one day and she was like, look, I just need to practice. Like, just get on the table. I was like, all right. All right. So okay, fine. So I just laid down. I was like, whatever, nothing's going to happen. Let her practice. And I honestly had like an amazing experience. Like, it was so healing. And she would tell me things that I had never told her about. Like, if my like knee was hurting, she said, oh, there's something going on with your knee. And I was so surprised. I was like, oh my gosh, like, okay, maybe I was wrong. Maybe this is not what I thought it was. So from that moment forward, spiritually speaking, my mind was much more open. I was talking with her much more about it, asking lots of questions. But honestly, I was probably like a teenager at this point. So I was already really busy with school and trying to figure out what to do with my life. And I was just starting to go to college and I did interior design. And then I studied abroad in what's it called? Where it's like junior college. So they had a study
Mm.
abroad program. So I did that. And that like really opened my mind to traveling, of course, but more so like there is more than what I know. Like it really showed me that people can live differently. People can have different ideals, different values. They can structure their lives in different ways than what I knew. And this might sound really silly, but I didn't know that that existed. Like I just thought that everyone, lived the same way everywhere in the world. And so that like blew my mind. And ever since that happened, that was 10 years ago now, I have just been obsessed with traveling because I just love learning about not even necessarily cultures, but just about how people live differently and think differently. And so that's one of the things that I love to do in my coaching practice is to challenge beliefs and open up like new ways of thinking because I have seen a lot in my life. Anyway, that's jumping ahead. But through college, I didn't know what I was going to do. I felt like I was forced to go to college because of my family. I'm a first generation Lebanese human in America, and my dad's family is all Lebanese. And so there was so many different pressures from there. And the self-love portion of the story is when I was a very young age. I would say the earliest I can remember is probably around 12. I started getting comments from my family about my weight and how I needed to watch my weight. And there were strangers coming up to me and grabbing my love handles and telling me that I needed to watch my weight. And it's kind of funny when you think about it now, but it's not funny. Like it's not
The moment.
okay. And it
Yeah.
was it was a very traumatic thing that I'm still working through. It's probably something I'll always be kind of working on. It's gotten way, way, way better. But that has been always a big component as well, because I've always felt like I wasn't able to make my own decisions and trust my own intuition, and being able to just love myself as I am, because there was so much criticism. So yeah.
Mhm.
Then jumping forward a little bit, I moved to Catalina Island by myself, and it's a little island off the coast of California. I grew up there, so I was familiar with the place, but I knew nobody. And so I just wanted to go see how they lived there, and I loved it there because it's on the ocean. I'm such like a mermaid, like ocean baby. So I loved it there. But then my body was kind of rejecting the island after a while. Like I started getting all these weird problems that you couldn't be addressed on the island. So I was like, you know what, it's time for me to move home. And then I finally discovered that I was passionate about hospitality, which makes sense. So that's like hotels, things like that. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. I love traveling. I've always thought hotels are so magical. So let's work in those, right? So I did that for a few years, and I ended up in the corporate part of it, the sales. I was a sales manager for 2 or 3 years. And honestly, I did not like it. And
Mhm.
I knew from the beginning corporate was not really my style. It's definitely not my style. I am much more free flowing. I learned about human design, discovering I was a projector, which makes more sense why I'm really not meant to be in the corporate design. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that, but for my energy, like I need more time to rest so that I can have those like spurts of productivity. And that's just not how corporate America works. We've been trained like in our society that we all need to be like worker bees, and we're not
Mhm.
all meant to be that. So for years I was talking about starting a blog, wanting to be a coach, all these things, but it was honestly just talk. And I was so scared to take that leap. And then came along COVID.
Mhm.
And of course, my heart goes out to all the people that have passed away, and so many people that haven't been able to happily go through this time. But I am so grateful for the opportunities it has provided me, because now I've been able to start my coaching practice. I have an Etsy store on the side. Like I have multiple things that I'm passionate about, and I've been able to grow that, develop it, invest in myself, take coaching certification classes and learn from multiple people. And it's been amazing. And self love was such a major part of all the work that I've been doing. And honestly, I think just about everything comes down to self love. And one of the first things you really start to notice when becoming an entrepreneur, gosh, what a word,
Yeah.
um, is that it is challenging. And
Mhm.
the way to be the best coach is to take the best care of yourself. So, having to go and unlearn all these patterns of not trusting myself, diving deeper into my spirituality, doing meditation, getting lots of Reiki practices done, doing past life regressions, like really trying to understand where these patterns originated besides just in this lifetime, because some stuff
Mhm.
is really, 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 really rooted in there, which means it's usually from some other lifetime. And this is the opportunity to heal from that. And yeah, it's been an amazing journey. Like the self-love in and of itself is crazy. Like there's just so much, there's so much emotions, and there's so much that comes into it, like keeping clothes because you want to like fit into them one day, and always feeling self-conscious. Like for me, sometimes even now still I feel self-conscious just walking down the street, like walking around the neighborhood, and it's like, man, and I don't want people to feel that way, and I understand why they do, but that's really why I'm here. Is I'm here to show women that their body's beautiful the way they are. And I never saw my body represented in the media until probably recently, but now I'm much more conscious about the media I consume. So now I'm
Mhm.
seeing more of different body shapes. And that's like one of the biggest things for me, to feel more seen and to feel like it's okay to take up space, right? As women, we always feel like, oh, well, I need to stay small and just please everybody. And it's just systemic. It
Yes,
just
yes.
is.
Oh my God, such I could listen to you the rest of the day because
You're so
it's
sweet.
such pure energy and
Oh,
such inspiring story. And you touched so many key points that a lot of I can relate a lot, and I'm
yeah.
sure that everyone listen can that is listening can find some points to relate to as well. And it's funny that obviously we spoke before and I was just saying, oh my God, I thought the exact same thing. I thought that everyone thought the exact same way as me, and that my reality was all there was, and that my reality, my lens, my filters were the same for everyone.
Yeah.
And the fact that even the simple fact that people just putting on other people's glasses and see that they see very badly, that thank God I don't need glasses. It's just the fact to see that people need glasses, just by that it's already a new perspective, is already a new reality. And
Mm-hmm.
reality is in fact an illusion, and is an illusion that comes in and gets formed in your brain. And so I absolutely love your story, and I can relate with traveling. I love traveling. I don't, well, I never thought of myself as a mermaid, but definitely can say that I love the water, and water just energizes me. And when I'm in the water, I'm just in flow. I'm just there living for it.
Yeah,
And
it's so
also the
connecting.
resting, yes, yes, yes. And also the resting portion that you were saying, a lot of people don't understand the importance of rest, and they don't understand that they can allow themselves to rest. So,
Yeah. I mean, we have this like hustle culture, right? Like you can
definitely.
only work hard to be successful. You can only work 20 hours a day to have a successful business. And you know what? That's not true for everybody. It's just
Yes, yes, yes. And I love that you say for everyone. It's absolutely true for some people. And
yeah.
it's the corporate life is absolutely right for some people. The entrepreneurial life is absolutely right for some people. Because imagine how boring the world would be if everyone thought the same way. Like we used to think that everyone it's just so boring. So
I
so
know.
what's the purpose of us being here? Because we're all going to end up having the same choices, the same path, and it just doesn't make sense. So it's
Yeah.
amazing that each person has their own human design, and that I'm just getting into human design now. And for everyone listening, in 2 episodes time, I believe we will be releasing another episode talking about human design. So if you're hearing about this and you're just stressing out like what is that, what is that, you can wait and stay tuned to that episode. And Athena, when we you said that when you first got introduced to Reiki, you felt like, oh my God, what is this? This is just weird situation, and you were like at the beginning, I'm not sure if this is something that I want to do. And what would you say is some misconceptions and some ideas that people have about personal development that can really block them for getting in this path, that can really help them heal? What would you say?
Yes, great question. So this might sound really nerdy, but I've been watching through Star Wars movies and I just watched the one where Yoda's like talking about the Force and how the reason why Luke isn't able to gain control is because he doesn't think that he can. So
Mm,
really, that's kind of my point though, is having that closed-mindedness rather than a curiosity. Like, I'm not saying walk out there and believe everything everybody says, because that's not okay either. Because so being open to it, first of all, asking questions. If there is something out there, like for example, with like spirit or universe or God or whatever you want to call it, you can ask for proof. Like they're like whoever it is, the energy has no problem showing you proof. But the cynical thoughts that are like, I don't believe this isn't true, that's exactly what you're going to find, right? Because thoughts are energy. So I think honestly the biggest block is just mindset. And so I went into that Reiki session pretty against it, but there was a part of me that was open and curious because I have always grown up going, I wonder why. I wonder what that's like. Like when you're talking about glasses, like what I think of is like, I wonder what it's like to live in the world where you have to wear glasses every day. Like how different was that? You have to keep track of them, you have to clean them. Like there's so much that goes into everything that we don't think about, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would say the biggest thing is just mindset, learning to be open, being curious, genuinely curious, and feel free to ask for proof. There's no, like, it's okay to be cynical. I feel like that's one of the biggest misconceptions is people just think you have to walk in and believe everything you hear. But I don't
Mm.
believe that at all. I think it's okay to go, okay, I'm curious about this. Is this true? Show me this sign. Or like my mom, she's a spiritual like healer at this moment. She does tons of modalities. And one of her favorite examples is she was like, I want to be able to connect and receive information myself. Like I don't want to be told it by anybody else because then it's through somebody else's filter, right? Through somebody
Mm-hmm.
else's lens, through somebody else's perspective. So I want to learn how to connect myself and receive my own answers. And it's honestly just practice. So that's,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd say, I mean, that was, yeah, I feel like that was multiple answers,
No,
but
that's amazing. That's amazing. And what advice would you give to everyone that is listening when they first start out this journey?
okay. So, first thing, I think the first and most important step of any spiritual journey is awareness. So, really just taking time to be aware of what's around you, aware of your thoughts, aware of how you're thinking, aware of how you're judging, what you're doing, how you're feeling, really just almost taking a step back and just taking note of what your world looks like right now because the outer reflection is what is going on inside of you. So
Mm.
if you really want to make changes, you first have to be aware of where those changes are stemming from. And I know that probably sounds a little more complicated than it is. But for me, I just started learning whatever I was curious about. I started reading books. I started asking questions. I looked for spiritual like groups to join, or not even necessarily spiritual. It doesn't have to be spiritual, but even just learning about psychology and how the brain works. I'm obsessed with learning about the subconscious mind. Like it doesn't all have to be like woo woo stuff. And I think
Mm.
that's
Yeah.
another misconception, going
Yeah,
back to the
yeah,
other
yeah,
question.
definitely.
Um, but yeah, just starting with awareness, and it's being mindful, taking time to actually be quiet. There's a lot of noise in our world right now.
Yeah.
We have we have taught our society to be stressed out and then to live in this super ultimate like stressed out world all the time. To deal with that you have to be numb, right?
Yeah.
So always have TV on, always listening to music or something. And I love music. A lot of it, they're all tools though, right? We have to use them in healthful ways. So taking time to be quiet, even if it's just putting on meditation music, if you need some sort of sound, if you're uncomfortable, that's okay. But just starting small, 5 minutes a day, 1 minute a day, or writing in your journal just to kind of, here's how I feel today. Here are the thoughts that are popping in my brain today, just to get yourself used to paying attention to what's going through your mind. Because most
Yeah.
of what we think is automatic, it's not
Yeah,
conscious.
yeah, yeah. We live in autopilot. And I love what you said because it's just like it's almost like I'm seeing myself in the mirror, but
Oh,
just getting like bouncing back with ideas.
yeah.
And it's amazing what you're saying. And I love that. And I actually wanted to share a story because I obviously know a lot, obviously, no, it's not obviously, it's not obvious. It's obvious for me now because like 6 months ago was not obvious. I had to go on this self awareness journey that you're talking about. But now I know that I use these numbing tools, like you say, like watching Netflix. So I used to be someone that was completely addicted to Netflix. And then I decided to cut it off. And this month, I don't know what it was. I think I kind of know what, but I'll share a little bit later. But I just felt compelled to subscribe for 1 month only again and watched it. And I actively know when I'm watching it, I am numbing myself because all of these tools, like you say, they can be used to alter states. And so I know that at that point, I want to get out of my head and I want to get out of my body. And I just want to just be there, just be a vegetable
Yeah.
and just numb myself. And so I have that awareness that when I'm watching Netflix, yes, I do watch Netflix this month. There's nothing wrong with that. I
No.
do. I do it actively without guilt. I procrastinate without guilt because I allow myself to, okay, do you need numbing? That's okay. Go watch Netflix. And it's
Yeah.
just, I have that self-awareness, and I wanted to share because there is also a lot of pressure. There is also this, oh, let's cancel the whole world, let's cancel Netflix, let's cancel all of this. And I feel like sometimes people that are in this personal development realm are very pressuring for towards other people, and they think, no, you have to meditate 10 hours a day, you have to journal 20 hours a day. So it's just like, it's so much that people get overwhelmed, and they end up giving up. And yeah, this is too much for me. It's just
Yeah, I love that you said that. Because
so.
I get caught up in the same thing. I do the same. I use TV as like a numbing technique. But like you said, having that awareness is huge. And I mean, even to this day, I'm really hard on myself. And then I have moments where I'm unplugging my TV and I'm never turning it on again. And then I calm down and I'm like, okay, that's not the answer, right? Because it's a tool and it's a little bit at a time, as long as I know what I'm doing and allow myself. Sometimes I have days where I lay in my bed the whole day and watch TV. And you know what? And I'm trying very hard. Most of the time I can do it, but just to give myself that grace. Sometimes we just need days to just, like you said, be veggie, just chill
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah. And I feel like that is a little bit of our ego telling us, you know what? It's time to rest. You know what? You need that time off.
Yeah.
So forget about everything that you have to do. And now it's your time to just be still and just numbing yourself.
Yeah. And then a lot of times when we come out of those days or weeks or however long it is or hours, we are inspired and excited and have the energy to really face what we're trying to face. And sometimes we don't, but we're human at the end of the day.
Yes, 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 yes. Do you want to talk a little bit? I'm curious about your framework. What you say a lot about human design and some mindset techniques. What is does your framework have that you help your clients with?
Yeah. So one thing that I will say before getting into this is I am really passionate about meeting people where they're at. So they don't have to be into spirituality. It helps if they do. I prefer it, but they don't have to know a ton. So like I meet them kind of wherever they're at their journey, and then I can provide insight and tools and just resources as to, of course, according to whatever goals they would like to accomplish. Then I can just give them like the next steps. So obviously all the things I've listed so far are like little tools I have in my tool basket, meditation and journaling and breath work. And there's so many weird stipulations about all of these things. But I really like to break down those barriers. I really focus on making it fun and showing my clients that this doesn't have to be this, you have to sit in your house and journal and cry. And like, that's not, no, like we are here to have fun. We are spiritual beings. We are here to have fun and follow the joy. So I really like to talk with my clients about what they're going through on many levels. I talk with them. I keep up with them usually every few days. I'll message them, check on them, see how they're doing. And with my one-on-one coaching, we have like an hour call face to face over Zoom, once a week. And I do give them like homework, quote unquote, but I also don't because I don't want it to feel like homework. Like I really do want to find fun ways to do things. And that's one of the biggest thing I would say I encourage. And that might sound really silly,
No, it's
but we're
not,
here to
because
have fun.
you know what I call my homework? I call growth work.
Oh, I love that. See, I need to change the word. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a language thing. It's just, but it makes an impact, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I love, of course, using human design. And we've talked a little bit about that, but showing my clients, because human design, I know you're going to have someone talk about
No,
it more
no,
in depth,
definitely. Go give
but
a little bit of an introduction.
yeah. So what it is it's basically like a blueprint of your energy. Like it looks like a map, and there's like kind of the chakra systems in there, but there's other energy centers in there too. And it really just explains how your energy works. Like for me, I felt so seen when I found human design. Like
Mm.
I sometimes I'm super, super energetic, really charged up, and then other times I'm so drained I can't move for like a day. And now, when after learning about my human design, I understood why, because there are centers that are filled and ones that are not. And the ones that are not, you don't create your own energy, you pick it up from other people. So it makes sense. Like if I go to a block party and I'm surrounded by, 2,000 people, I am freaking pumped. Like I am excited and I'm jumping around. But then in like 2 hours, I'm like dead. Like I have to go home. Like I
Yeah.
get really drained by it also because it's a lot of like active work for myself. But it also made sense when becoming an entrepreneur to use that to figure out the best way to work with my energy. So I don't have a defined throat, which means it is helpful for me as a projector to talk and to speak and to sing. So for anyone who follows me on Instagram, or if you don't, at Navigating Bliss, I sing a lot, I talk a lot on videos because that is one way to really get my energy going. And I've learned that. And of course, you take everything with a grain of salt, right? There's conditioning, and that's one of the other biggest things on growth and when you're learning about human design is deconditioning everything we've been taught and then retraining yourself. I feel like it's been called a lot of other things, reparenting, like they're all kind
Yeah.
of the same things. So yeah, it's been really fun, but that's why, okay, so that was the point. I lost it for a second. That's why, like, for me as an entrepreneur, I love to go to coffee shops and work. And after learning about me not having a lot of energy myself, I was like, oh my God, that makes sense. Because when I'm at a coffee shop, there's a lot of other people around, right? So it helps me to focus more and get the energy from other people and not like a vampire. I feel like the way I'm saying it, I'm not saying like I'm
A little
sucking
bit
in.
more, maybe like an empath or something. Would you consider yourself to be an empath?
Yeah, absolutely. But everyone is, right? It's just a matter of where you are and the practice. There's lots of ways to just practice on
Mm.
doing that. And just for me, what I've been trying really hard is like I feel like I get like intuitive hits all the time, but the practice is in listening to those hits. Like, oh
Yes.
my gosh, 2 weeks ago, I was driving 2 hours away to my friend's house and I was getting gas in the morning and literally the word like tire like popped in my head, which is weird. Things don't usually like pop in that way, but it was like it almost felt like tire like in big bold letters. And I was like, okay, I hear you. Odd. I was driving and then I hit something and my tire blew. And I wasn't surprised because I was like, okay, well, I definitely had a precognition. Like I knew this was
Yeah.
happening. And it was just such an interesting day. And I'm just like, and they're like, thank you, intuition, because then I wasn't scared. I didn't lose control of the car. And I do a lot of energy work, which I haven't really mentioned yet, but I do a lot of light energy work. I imagine um like grounding, and it's like putting roots like energetically like out of your
Uh-huh.
hands and
Oh, that's
feet to
amazing.
feel grounded. The best example I like to give with grounding is like if you're feeling really spacey someday or like you're dropping stuff, like I feel like I have days where everything I pick up, I drop, right? And it's like, okay, well, I'm not in my body. So I stop and I like take a deep breath and I'm like, okay, ground. Like imagine that beautiful, like white universe light coming through you and just all the way down to the center of the earth, just ground. And then I stop dropping stuff. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Like, so funny. So I do a lot of work like that daily. And so I think it helps that I did that before the drive. And everything worked out the way it was supposed to. It's yeah. And just when you have ideas that pop in your mind, realizing that they're not random and not getting rid
Hmm.
of them because we're taught, right? We're taught to not listen to our bodies. We're taught to ignore the intuition thoughts that come in. And oh my gosh, I'm doing this exercise and my knee's really hurting. No, push through the pain. Like that's your body. Like our bodies know everything. That's your body trying to tell you something. And guess what? If you don't stop, you're going to be faced with a knee injury that's going to make you lay down for 2 weeks because you didn't listen.
Yes,
And I can
absolutely.
say that because I have experienced that like more than I can count times in my life.
Oh my, that's unfortunate. But now I at least you got that awareness. And now
Yes, see, now I
you
know.
know, yes, yes, yes. Because otherwise, if you wouldn't get that learning, you would always do the same mistake. So
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
important for you. And I feel like it's important for a lot of people. And I love what you said about the human design. And to me, that helped me be more comfortable with who I am because I always felt like I needed to adapt to people. And I'm a manifester generator. Manifesting generator? I don't know. I
And
get
yeah,
manifesting generator. And that basically means that my strategy is to respond to people's energies, to get drawn inspiration from other people. And I thought that that meant that I wasn't original and that I needed to be original. That was always something that I wanted because I always learned a lot from other people, but I couldn't come up with things on my own. So I always felt like you know what, I'm not original, I'm fake, and I'm just having this imposter syndrome because I'm pretending to be someone that I'm not, but I'm essentially just talking about what I've learned.
Yeah.
And but now I've embodied that idea of, yes, okay, I can draw inspiration from other people. This is
Yeah.
my strategy. And the fact that I get that inspiration, I get that wisdom, and I get that those learnings from people, and they go through my filters, I then adjust and I give them my energy. And
Yeah.
because I have that throat center defined,
Mhm.
I have the power to be the communicator, to be the person that inspires, that transmits that energy. And people are drawn to that. So I
Yeah.
feel like it was so empowering to know my human design.
Oh, that's what I love about it so much.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's amazing. It's amazing. So everyone listening, um, go check it out. What tools do you recommend, Athena, to check
Um,
out the human design?
so human design, if you are really curious and want to read about it, my favorite book is, I have it right here. It's Human Design by Karen Curry. But if you want to, if you're just curious about it, podcast wise, one of my favorites is Align by Design. They are amazing. They have tools. You can go on different websites to get your chart, myhumandesign.com or jovianarchive.com. And there's so much information out there if you're just kind of curious about your own design. And yeah, it's really just, like you said, it's empowering and
Yeah.
it just, it's funny you mentioned that because I felt the same way. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't inspire myself. I can never come up with my own ideas. And it's like, I do the same thing, even though I'm not a manifesting generator, but it's like, I see other people's things. And if I see too much, then I get overwhelmed and I shut down. Right. But if I see a couple things, I'm like, okay, that's cool. But here's how I would do it. And that's the
Mm,
point, right? Living in your design, it's like we all have different energy. And even if it was the quote unquote same thing that you did as somebody else, because of your specific unique energetic signature, it's not going to be the same. It's not going to draw the same people. And that's what's so amazing about it is I know the imposter syndrome is such a thing. I feel like everybody feels that, right?
yes, yes.
Definitely not alone. And realizing that we all have our own unique energetic signature that attract different people is so huge, right? And you're just like,
Yeah.
okay, so I'm not gonna, when I attract certain people, it's because of what I'm putting out there. It's not necessarily because of all the words you put and the picture you posted. Like it's the energy you're bringing to the table. And that's the essence of everything, right? Is the energy behind it, the intention
Yes.
behind it.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my God, I just love this. I love this.
Thank you. This is so amazing.
This is very, very good. You've shared so many ideas. Would you be able to summarize a little bit of what we talked about?
Oh, summarizing. Let's see. I,
I know this
well,
is the hard part.
okay. I know. I'm like, how do I summarize it? Well, trust yourself. Be curious. Start with awareness, um, and just know that you're not alone, no matter what you're going through, and you are meant to be here as your own unique self. The only thing you're here to do is to be yourself and have fun. So that's yeah.
Yes, that is amazing, amazing. And so many people are not themselves because they are afraid. And I can talk from experience. I was so afraid. I still am in the process of opening up. And even with this podcast, I'm now beginning to talk a little bit more, quote unquote, woo woo stuff and
Yeah.
spiritual stuff. So this
Yeah.
is still a process for me as well. And I
Yeah.
think that can be inspiring to people that are maybe a little bit fearful and just like resisting the change and resisting the energy that flows through them every
Yeah.
time, all the time. So let it
Oh, good.
flow, let it flow.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And fear, like everybody feels it. I'm scared every day. Like I feel like fear is not something that will disappear once you've quote unquote figured it all out. I think it will always be there. And it's just
Yes,
a matter of just saying, you know what? I'm going to be scared and I'm going to do it anyway. Right. You know
yes,
what's
yes,
funny is before coming on this podcast, because I was a little nervous, I was listening to a song called Born to Be Brave, because that's what being courageous is, right? Being brave is
yeah,
being scared and showing up anyways.
yeah,
Because all people want is real stuff They don't want fake. They want you to be raw and show up and say, hey, I'm scared, but I'm gonna be here, you
Yeah,
know?
definitely, definitely. And one thing that my last podcast guest said that was so far powerful, and I'm taking this forever for my life. And we were talking about this situation of fear and taking fear with you, and I was just saying precisely that being courageous was having the fear and just doing it anyway, and just breaking through all of the barriers that you create for yourself, because we are creating these barriers. They don't exist. We are creating them. And she said, you know what? You can carry your fear in your little bag. And
Oh my gosh,
it
I
was just
love that.
and it was just so sweet. And I'm like, you know what? I'm taking this with me. I'm taking my little fear in my little bag.
Oh my gosh. I imagine, I don't know if you saw that picture, a couple years ago of like Lizzo carrying a purse that was like 2 inches big,
Yeah,
right?
that
That could be the
something that
little
I
bag of
imagined.
fear.
And that is on it in itself, it's already a reframing, because the fact that you have fear, we perceive fear as something that is even bigger than us, that involves all around us, and it's just so overwhelming, and it's dark, and it's confusing, and it's we start to feel things in our body. And the fact that she just created that reframe and creating that distancing, and you know what, you just put it in your little bag and you carry it around with you. It's like,
Yeah. And that's the thing is, like you said, like we think of it as this big, overwhelming, heavy, dark like energy, and you can become friends with it.
yeah.
You can be friends with your fear and you can ask it what it's telling you, because usually it's there for a reason, right? Just like all the things, because it's from the ego. The ego is just trying to protect you, even though it doesn't understand the bigger picture. You can just say, hey, fear, I see you, I hear you, I feel you. What do you need me to know? That's fine, you're safe, I'm going to do this anyway.
Yeah,
Have a
yeah, yeah,
conversation with it.
yeah. Oh my God, I have so many things to say about the ego. I called my ego Georgina. That, that's her name.
That is so cute, I love that.
Yeah. So that's her name. And when she's acting up, I just say, you know what, Georgina, I'm here. What do you need from me? Let's talk. Sit next to me, and let's just talk. Let's just chill together.
That's amazing. That's amazing. No, what a great way to think about it. I do that with my higher self also.
Yeah, I know that my higher self speaks to me, but she doesn't respond to any particular name yet. So I'm still figuring
Oh,
that out.
oh,
But yeah,
mine doesn't have a name either. I'm just like, hey, higher self, come walk with me.
yeah, yeah. I think she's more of a feeling. So she's not like a voice or anything.
I agree.
So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. For
Wow.
everyone listening, this might be seeming like crazy talk, but it's really not. It's just like we have this ego portion of us that is, like Athena is saying, that is this. I would say that is the inner child that needs healing,
Yeah.
and that the higher self is, I would say, is more of your intuition, more of the connection to the universe, more of your connection to God, more of your connection to creation. And
Yeah.
that is what makes you feel in flow and just be. It's just, to me, it's something that is so neutral, that it's just, I'm being, I'm existing, I'm breathing, I'm
Yeah.
expansive, limitless being. And so that is my experience with the higher self. I don't know about your experience. How is it?
Yeah, no, I love that. That's a wonderful way to put it. I mean, I agree with you. My higher self feels the same way, but I think of it as also like the dream version of myself. So
Hmm.
if I ever feel like I need a boost of confidence, or if I want my like higher self to be connected to me, I'll stand up, right? And I'm like, okay. And then I'll like take a step forward as if I'm stepping into the shoes of like my higher self, kind of like Peter Pan who loses his shadow and he needs to like reconnect to it. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
kind of, that's how I imagine it. Or if I want to just talk, I'll imagine my higher self sitting next to me in my car or walking next to me, and I'll just ask questions. And like you said, it is your subconscious, it's your connection to the universe, it's your
Yeah.
connection to the limitless, what's it called, information, I forgot what it's called.
Yeah.
But
I know it's like
yeah,
source. I know what you mean.
source
Yeah.
essentially. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like I imagine it's just like your soul on just such a high level. And it just makes me happy when I think about it, right? It shouldn't be anything that's scary. It should make you feel
Yeah.
good and excited.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And don't get me wrong, I used to feel very, very bad whenever I would think of the ego, but now I'm actually happy to see Georgina because she's like an old friend.
Yeah, and you're like, thank you for protecting me. Like I
Yeah.
really do. Yeah.
Yeah, so that, oh my God. We could be here forever.
I know, we really could. This has been so
Yeah.
amazing.
If you guys like this episode, let us know that we can come and record another one.
Yeah, please.
We can create a whole series to talk about life if you want to.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I
Yeah, that
know.
would be amazing, wouldn't it? It's just so easy to talk to you. It's such good energy
Oh,
and it's
thank you
just
so much.
effortless. So,
Likewise, likewise.
thank you. So, how can people work with you? How can they connect
Okay.
with you, show you some
Yeah.
love?
Oh, I would love that. So I hang out on Instagram at Navigating Bliss. That's pretty much where I hang out. I do have a Facebook group with the same name, Navigating Bliss, but honestly, I'm trying to figure out how to understand one platform before I figure out the rest of them. So Instagram's where I hang out. I do have a website, navigatingbliss.com. Feel free to find me there. I have a couple different offers right now, like you had mentioned at the beginning. I have one-on-one coaching, and I also have an oracle card reading that I'm actually launching today. So by the time this podcast
Ooh,
releases, it will be a thing.
yeah, amazing. And everything will be in the show notes, by the way.
Oh, yay. Yes, perfect. And for your listeners, I would be very happy to offer a free 1 hour one-on-one coaching session. So just shoot me a message and just let me know you heard me on the podcast, and I'll be happy to get that set up for you. I'm so excited.
Yay! Oh my God. Yes, yes, yes. I'm very excited for you. And oh my God, we should do another. I'm having these ideas.
Oh,
We should
yeah.
do
What?
another episode on oral or oh my God, now I can't say the word. You say it for me.
Oracle.
Oracle card reading. Definitely. That's no, I'm just having
Mm.
ideas. So let us
Yeah,
know if you'd like an episode on that. And I will bring Athena back definitely. Uh, so
I would
yes,
love it.
everything will be in the show notes. So connect with Athena, go show her some love, and let us know either one. What else would you like to hear from us? And that is it, really. Thank you so much, Athena, for coming here, for sharing your wisdom, sharing your beautiful light. And
Thank you
I hope you
so.
enjoyed.
Oh, this has been such a pleasure. So much fun. This is the first time I've been on a podcast, so thank you for
Oh,
having me.
you did amazing.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Thank you all for holding space for me to hear my story. I could not appreciate it more, and I hope to see you all at Navigating Bliss.
Yes, absolutely. And I will see you on the next episode. Goodbye.